In a small European town, a young man named Adrian lived with big dreams and a kind heart. However, he had one major weakness. He always relied on others to make decisions for him. Whether it was about his studies, career, or personal life, he constantly sought guidance from his friends, family, or teachers, expecting them to lead him at every step. His father, Gregor, an old and wise man, noticed this habit and grew increasingly concerned. One morning, he took Adrian to a dense forest near their town. As they walked deeper into the woods, Gregor pointed to a young tree and asked Adrian to consider how it stood so tall and strong. Adrian thought about the water and sunlight it received, but Gregor wanted him to understand a deeper lesson. He explained that if a tree leaned on another for support instead of standing on its own, it would never grow strong. The moment the supporting tree fell, the dependent tree would collapse too. Gregor then led Adrian further into the forest until they reached an old well. Its walls were covered in moss and its depths seemed endless. Gregor picked up a stone and dropped it into the well, asking Adrian to listen to the sound of the stone hitting the water. He then posed a question. What if the stone had refused to fall because it was waiting for another stone to go first? It would never reach the water. He wanted Adrian to realize that waiting for someone else to take the first step would only hold him back in life. If he kept depending on others, he would never reach his destination. Adrian stood there in deep thought, realizing how much time he had wasted seeking validation and direction from others. He recalled the many opportunities he had missed simply because he was too afraid to take responsibility for his own choices. From that day on, Adrian decided to change. He began making decisions for himself, no matter how small. He stopped waiting for others to push him and took control of his own actions. At first, it was difficult. He made mistakes, faced failures, and even doubted himself. But with each step, he grew stronger and more confident. Years later, Adrian became a successful entrepreneur. The people in his town admired him for his courage and determination. When asked about the secret to his success, he always shared the lesson he had learned. The moment he stopped depending on others and took charge of his own life, everything changed. Depending on others for every decision would keep a person from growing. Success and self-confidence come when one takes responsibility for their own actions. If someone truly wants to change their life, they must stop waiting for others and take the first step themselves.